All right, everybody, welcome to week 2 of our social media training series. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit more in depth about Twitter. Last week, hopefully, that got you some good information about getting your profile up to speed and just some mechanics of the platform. So, this week is going to be focusing in more on the engagement side of things and how to get involved with ongoing conversations, larger conversations. And so, the first place we need to start with that is thinking through hashtags and how to best utilize them. So, of course, a hashtag is any word or phrase that starts with the pound sign that doesn't have any spaces. If you put any kind of punctuation in it, that's going to make the hashtag stop. So that's kind of the break, or space or punctuation. But a hashtag functions to unify a conversation topic. And so when you use one in a message, your message shows up when people search for that particular topic, regardless of whether or not they follow you. So there's some really popular ones out there that are used all the time. Hashtag healthy, healthy living, healthy food, healthy choices, things like that. This is National Nutrition Month in the US, so a lot of traction around that hashtag. But of course, people make up their own all the time. So if you make up your own and you're the only person using it, while you may be seen as funny and clever, if it's a good one, it's not going to build a lot of extra traction that one that's already in use would, because people don't know to use it or how to find you with it. So be aware of that. It's also a great way to get involved in a conversation without having to go follow a bunch of accounts if you want to find things by topic. So like I said, over here in the States, this is National Nutrition Month. And this may be something that UK folks want to hop on just to be a part of these conversations. But I don't follow any of these accounts. But when I look for this hashtag, I'm seeing, everything that people have to say about it. And so for something like this, it's just a great way to get a lot of good information. But of course, when something is very topical and to the moment, news related, that's hashtags are a great way to see what's going on with it, because one will catch on quickly and everybody's using the same one. And so the guy who's on the street with a smartphone, his reporting is just as powerful or valid as the BBC or some major news network, because he's there. And so that's what makes hashtags really cool. So how do you make that work for you? Well, you certainly want to leverage them well. If you're signed up for Soundboard and Soundboard is tweeting for you, we're always looking for new and prominent hashtags to get you involved in healthy living conversations. So keep that in mind. If you are wanting to use a hashtag, so bring up your Twitter Compose tweet window, either on desktop or on mobile, and you start typing the pound sign. Don't type a space. And as you start typing, Twitter actually will make suggestions for you based on what they think you may be interested in. So I'm already looking for hashtag National Nutrition Month here. So if I hit the tweet button, it's going to bring that up for me. Hash symbol. Oh, thank you, Angie. Yeah, so a hash symbol. And so that'll bring that up. Of course, you can put more than one in any particular message. But once you start typing, like I'm intending to type hash healthy, but it's suggesting some other popular ones based on that series of letters. So you can go with what's recommended, or go with what you know is good, or make up your own. So pretty easy to do that. Now there's a pretty cool site out there if you want to find some trending hashtags. It's called hashtagify.me. So we have a scraper in-house that we use to come up with good hashtags, but this is also another one that's helpful sometimes. So if you look for a particular term on this, what it'll show you is that particular keyword, and it'll also show you how it's related to specific others and how frequently they're used together based on the strength of the connection here. So these bars, there's not a lot of variation, but the thicker the bar is, the more it's related. And so you can kind of go down a rabbit hole here with this, looking at, okay, this one's related to this one. Well, you can click on this one, and it'll show you hashtags that are related to that particular thing. So this is a pretty cool way to find, which ones are pretty active, which ones are related. We've all seen those tweets that have 12 hashtags in them, and that's all they are. And those tend to get a little bit more hard to read, but here's some good examples of just using a handful at the end of your message to sprinkle in. And, even just using one is good, but I don't recommend more than 4 or 5 at a time. But hashtagify.me is a great one for finding what's active. Then Twitter will actively, or you don't have to do anything, but it'll turn it into a link for you. And so people can get associated with all the messages in that conversation if they click on that link. And of course, when it comes to what is trending, Twitter will show you based on where you are and what's going on, whether there's specific news in your area. This is something about an NFL team. I'm sure this has something to do with our political system over here. And then sometimes these fun tweets catch on, or these fun hashtags catch on, where people just get creative with it. So there's a challenge out there to improve your life in 5 words. And you can see there's a ton of stuff going on about that today. Same with Muslim Women's Day. So it's never a bad idea to just take a glance at these and see, is there anything in particular that you can hop on as far as a popular or trending hashtag to get found in some larger conversations. So hashtag Monday Motivation. You all are about to probably have your Monday wrap up, but we're still well into our Monday here in the U.S. And so this would be a great kind of thing to be a part of, and throw something out there with a healthy living thought. So we've talked about trends. So when it comes to trends, of course you can check on them like I just did, and see what's going on. But there's also a great thing to do is to figure out planned trends. And so a lot of companies or organizations or awareness groups will set a trend or a hash that they want to use for the month, and then you can know about it ahead of time and leverage it and be a part of it. So in the States, August is a big one for Juice Plus folks because it's officially More Fruits and Veggies Month. And so there's lots of hashtags around that. Same, like I mentioned, this is National Nutrition Month. So I would recommend, looking for some UK specific planned trends. I've never actually done research on whether or not a lot of the cancer awareness months, if that's something that the UK uses heavily. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and everybody in the States wears these pink ribbons, and everything seems like turns pink. Our national football teams, a lot of them will put on pink jerseys. Our basketball teams will wear pink jerseys, and so that's something that a lot of people get behind, and it's easy to, be a part of that. So, but every month across the States is some kind of health awareness month. It's some kind of disease awareness month. And so those are always good. They're coming. You can plan for them and plan to be a part of them. And you can just do a little homework and figure out, is there a hashtag that they're going to be using on purpose week in and week out. So just be looking for those kind of things. In fact, I'm curious now. UK Health Awareness Month. Let's see what we find here. Here we go. awarenessdays.co.uk. And it's even got a content planning tool and everything. So we've got a calendar. We're past some of these 1st of March things, but there you go. More Fruit Month 2017. That's a terrific one to jump in on. See if there's more information about it here. Now it's Dole, so it's a little corporate, but doesn't seem like, like there's a whole event website here all about it. Well, you could dig through that and see if they have anything worth talking about. But that's the kind of thing that it's easy to search for, easy to figure out, and easy to see, if you want to be a part of it or not. Autism Awareness Week, Bipolar Day. Is there some nutrition aspects that you could speak to be a part of that? So that could be something really cool to look for. So take advantage of those planned trends. So now when it comes to leveraging your audience and thinking about content, you certainly want to be able to grow your follower base. And this is something that I think I mentioned last week, but it's important to remember that your followers on Twitter are an important aspect of your account, but it is not the only metric of success or measurement of success, because of the public nature of the platform and how everything works. So if you do have what you would consider to be a smaller account, don't lose hope, because just like we've seen today with the hashtags, way more than just your followers can see your stuff if you're doing well, if you're tapping into larger conversations. But there is a little bit of a threshold that you need to clear in order to show up in searches. The first of those being, there's a little bit of an invisible hurdle that Twitter sets up. You need to have at least 50 followers to show up in searches to be considered an active account. So make an effort to hit that mark. Well, how do you pick up followers? The easy way is to go follow people, and hope that they follow you back. They don't always. There's a lot of ways to game the system and to pick up followers that will drive your numbers up, but it won't drive the value of your account, and it won't drive up engagements. So keep that in mind. First off, I always warn people about not buying followers. There's a lot of services on the internet and on Twitter itself that will sell you 10,000 or 20,000 followers for 50 pounds. I recommend against that, because what you are ultimately doing is simply buying a number. You're paying a service that runs fake accounts to go follow you in mass to drive your number up, but it's not real people. It's not going to drive real engagement. It's not going to drive any kind of business growth. It's not going to drive healthy account growth, because Twitter knows what you're doing, and they actually downgrade your account sometimes in searches when they see your account go from 200 followers or 2,000 followers to 30,000 followers in the space of a couple of hours. They know what's happening. And at Edge Theory, we run a lot of different kinds of social media accounts for a lot of different businesses. And we consistently have to deal with businesses that come to us that won't help, that need to be dug out from the social media Twitter hole that they've put themselves in by purchasing followers. Because again, of Twitter's lack of tolerance for this. The other thing to keep in mind is, since you are buying fake accounts, Twitter is really cracking down on these things. They're cracking down on a lot of inflammatory speech and hate speech and things like that, but a lot of that stuff gets put out by these fake accounts, and so they will close them in big sweeps. And so you could go to bed one night with 20,000 followers and wake up the next morning with 14,000. And that company that you bought it for is not worried about it and is not interested in helping you get back to that number. So ultimately, it is a vanity thing. But you do, again, want to grow your account. There's nothing wrong with it. You want to do it the right way, though. Go follow real people. Go follow local businesses. Go follow health influencers. And go follow whoever you're interested in. You know, if you want to follow Beyonce or Coldplay or whatever, do it. But they're not going to follow you back. But your friends will, and other people who are interested in the topics that you're interested in will. And so, you know, go do it. Go do that. Go find stuff that you're interested in, people that are in your spheres of influence, and by all means, you know, follow those people. Now, when it comes to picking up followers and kind of checking in on your own, a couple of caveats here. One is, you certainly want to have your profile filled out. I can't stress this enough, that you need to have at least have an icon here. Please take the time to put in this other stuff. But if you don't have an icon, and if you're just an egg, Twitter's going to eventually put your account in Twitter jail, basically. And also, people are a lot less apt to follow you if you are an egg, because they don't know if you're real. But if you find something that, since this is a business account and lots of different people from different walks of life are looking at it, it matters to me what my follower base looks like. Okay, because Twitter is so open and so public, you are going to pick up followers that you have no idea who they are. And it might not feel like necessarily a real account. And so if you ever get followed by something or someone that you have no idea who they are, and you're not really comfortable with it, all right, I'll pick on Pure Vita Tours here. Like, I don't really care that a Costa Rica dream vacation planning system is following me. So you have a couple of choices here, especially if you know, somebody follows you that is illicit. I don't want anything following this account that seems out of line with the Juice Plus brand. So there's a couple of options here. When you see who's following you, you can mute them, which means that they're still following you and can be seen here on this page when you're looking at followers and when other people are looking at your followers. But whatever they tweet, you don't see it. Now, you can block them, which means they will no longer show up on this page, and other people won't see that that they've asked or that they follow you, and they will no longer be able to see your content. And I will take the time about once a month to sweep this account for those fake accounts that have the pictures that are inappropriate. And then if it's really bad, I mean, if it's pornography, then you can report it, and Twitter will investigate and help take it down. So as your account grows, you know, don't be too hard on it. Don't be too strict. But certainly take the time to comb through occasionally, you know, like this. I don't know why in the world. I truthfully don't even know the language that is. I'm sorry. I think that's Spanish. But why that account would follow this account, you know. And so I'm not going to take it down because it's not inappropriate. I'm not going to block it. I'm not going to get them in trouble with Twitter because they're not doing anything wrong. But I will. I just want people to care, to know that I care about, you know, what's going on with this. So just keep that in mind. And again, take the time to not be an egg. I would not follow this person back because they are an egg. So that's kind of the thought behind picking up your followers. Now, as your account begins to grow, of course, the number one place to To stay on top of that is your notifications. So I highly, highly recommend you keep your notifications turned on your phone with your Twitter app. So as far as, kind of etiquette goes of what's happening to your account with notifications. So there's a lot of things that notifications will tell you. Some are obvious, some are less obvious. Of course, it'll tell you who's following you and who's interacted with your tweets and who's talked to you. So first order of etiquette is if somebody follows you, follow them back if it's appropriate. Now this person is some kind of guy selling some kind of vacation system. Not helpful, not interested. Stephanie, leadership tips, network marketing, urban gardening, healthy eating. Perfect. I already follow Stephanie back. Fiona, helping people build significant incomes working from home. No thanks. Juice Plus, we got Juice Plus, part of Diamond Team. I followed Georgina back. We've got Lane. Lane is trying to sell me some financial services. Not interested, but if you wanted to follow them, then you can just hover over them and hit the button right here to follow them back. Now, when people like your tweets or retweet you, then take the time to figure out if you can make a connection point through that. Okay, so Stephanie has already replied to a tweet. Let's click on this and see. Soundboard. So this is a tweet about the soundboard. She's excited about that. I like that she did that. So that's a good thing. But what you can do is figure out who is engaging with you and what are they engaging with you about. So Jennifer Taylor liked a tweet here. Jennifer is a Mary Kay person, but she liked the tweet about wanting the benefits of a diet with more whole foods. Eating better isn't hard. Keep these tips in mind. So she liked this tweet. So what we can do now is try to connect with Jennifer based on, even though she's a Mary Kay person, what is something that we can connect with her about? So let's tweet at her and we can say, thanks for liking our tweet. Did you get the chance to have a healthy lunch today? So remember, Twitter is super light, easy, casual conversation. Boom, out and gone. Let's see if Jennifer responds, and we can build up some rapport there. So pretty easy to do as long as you are aware of what's going on, staying on top of this, and then trying to make connections with people based on what they expressed interest in. Then you're really doing yourself a favor by showing people that you're engaged, that you care. So combine this with what we talked about last week, which is going out and finding people to start conversations with based on the kinds of things that they are interested in or that they're posting about. I guess the ultimate way to disappoint yourself when it comes to growing your business regarding social media is to just post and think that people are only ever going to want to talk to you. Don't assume that you're not going to have to talk back. And so staying on top of these notifications in that regard is the first and best, easiest way on Twitter to keep connected with people and to be engaged like that. So let's see. I did make a note here. You can auto post Facebook to Twitter and Instagram to Twitter. I tend to recommend against this because Twitter handles those links fairly poorly. And I don't think it drives a lot of engagement. Certainly not when you create an Instagram post and you tell it to go to Facebook, it looks great. The image comes through. When you create an Instagram post and you tell it to go to Twitter, the image doesn't come through. It's just a link to the Instagram post that I find people tend not to click on. So don't really worry about that. So if you'll take the time, a couple of minutes a day and stay on top of your notifications, I think you will be happily surprised at how people respond to you, and it generates conversations. So that about wraps it up for today. We'll wrap up a minute early here. I know it's getting late for you all. And again, we'll get next week's time sorted out correctly. And if you are watching the recording of this, thanks for joining us at a later time. Please Vox me with any questions. Check out our Facebook page for product updates and other trainings. And I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you.